Before I go to the video store one last time, I thought I'd take care of the beard. There I go, and while that's going on, I'm gonna have this playing in the background. You might learn something.
As of yesterday, as I advised, as I explained, and yes, you fucking witless no strategy having fuck knobs in the comments section of my Seattle video, as I predicted, in under 1 hour, the Chaz. But I thought in lieu of a finger flip, I should go ahead and break this down for you categorically, because when I made my original assertion that Trump not intervening in Seattle was the prudent course, I meant it. And yes, you cunts, I've been resoundingly fucking ratified in that. The black pills who pinched a poo log in their pantaloons must have their noses held in it to understand why this is, because if you crybaby cuntflaps keep running from the front line, imbibing in doomsaying and dipshittery before the final fucking act is played, ain't shit gonna get fixed any fucking where in any fucking event. So let's analyze, shall we? Seattle allows protests. Seattle allows it to progress into rioting. Seattle allows rioters to set up an autonomous open-air clam bake in 1/10 of the city itself. Despite violence, sexual assaults, overdoses, and arson on site, Mayor Karen of Seattle claims it's a block party atmosphere. All the while, Trump offers aid and briefly, idiotically in my opinion, even threatens direct National Guard intervention. Mayor Marks and Governor Gorbachev of Seattle tell him to fuck off because it's the summer of love. Then the block party turns into a Glock party, a SoundCloud rapper with a rifle takes over, and before long, bitches are actually getting shot. Even this ain't enough to persuade Prunella DeVille to take the cops off the chain and clear out these cucks, even after they seize control of an entire Seattle police precinct. By now, it appears Trump is clued into the fact that it's a fucking honeypot and reverts to outright mockery at multiple rallies, name-checking the Chaz and stating, and I quote, "I think we should just sit back and watch it burn." Meaning the DNC effectively immolated two of their own game pieces, a mayor and a goddamn governor of Seattle, in a failed bid to bait the president into military action. Also, the rolling CNN cameras run their ready-made Trump is Hitler stories from now to fucking 2090. T-Rump ain't taking the bait, but by now, it's out of control. The Soimalians are up in arms, show up on Mayor Derpa's doorstep, and then, and only then, does she give enough of a flying fuck to allow the cops to clear him out, after which they repay her forbearance by camping out on her lawn again, after which a violent fight immediately erupts in full view of the Seattle public. And I ask again, how precisely did any of this make Trump look bad exactly? Democrat constituents take over Democrat strongholds, prompting Democrat mayors and Democrat governors to capitulate to communists, which only emboldens the Bolsheviks to turn on those very same mayors and governors. And you witless wonders wanted Trump to forsake this fucking victory? Over what? Some statues torn down once again in deep blue butt fucking areas? How stupid are you, simps? And for once, the alarmists are actually right, folks. We are in a civil war. But only one side is fighting, and with no means, not to mention no nuts, to engage their actual enemies on the right, they're fighting them fucking selves! The left are kicking their own ass! Learn from the example of Agincourt, and let it fucking happen! And before you pipe up with the NYC sequel to the Chaz that's springing up even as we speak, goddamn good! Another blue stronghold self-immolates on national television while the nation at large shakes its head in unison. Folks! Win, lose, or draw, the Democrats, at least as we know them, will not survive this election cycle. To understand why the black pill should be banished from your diet, I won't refer you to some great conservative statesman, free market paragon, or America First advocate. I'm instead going to refer you to the unlikely source of Michael fucking Moore. Because unlike many on the left, he called the 2016 election result, despite it being one he hoped against hope would not occur.
Donald Trump came to the Detroit Economic Club and stood there in front of the Ford Motor executives and said, if you close these factories as you're planning to do in Detroit and build them in Mexico, I'm going to put a 35% tariff on those cars when you send them back, and nobody's going to buy them. It was an amazing thing to see. No politician, Republican or Democrat, had ever said anything like that to these executives. And it was music to the ears of people in Michigan and Ohio and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, the Brexit states. Whether Trump means it or not is kind of irrelevant because he's saying the things to people who are hurting. And it's why every beaten down, nameless, forgotten working stiff who used to be part of what was called the middle class loves Trump. He is the human Molotov cocktail that they've been waiting for. The human hand grenade that they can legally throw into the system that stole their lives from them. They've essentially lost everything they had, except one thing. The one thing that doesn't cost them a cent and is guaranteed to them by the American Constitution, the right to vote. They see that the elites who ruined their lives hate Trump. Corporate America hates Trump. Wall Street hates Trump. The career politicians hate Trump. The media hates Trump after they loved him and created him and now hate him. Thank you, media. The enemy of my enemy is who I'm voting for on November 8th. Yes, on November 8th, you, Joe Blow, Steve Blow, Bob Blow, Billy Bob Blow, all the blows get to go and blow up the whole goddamn system because it's your right.
Interesting people don't listen to this guy.
Is going to be the biggest
All right, well,
fuck you ever recorded in human
that's good.
history.
All right, take care. Bye.